Wiggle, wiggle.
Like.
Hey Blitzers, it's the Muffin here. Going to be talking about a tank that's very loved or very hated. Going to be doing some tips and tricks. This is the Sheridan, the Tier 10, one of the newest Tier 10 tech tree tanks that has just come out in the most recent update. I'm just going to be doing, once again, just some tips and tricks on the video, how to play with it, what to do with it, some of the strengths, some of the weaknesses of the tank, how to kill it, how to effectively play it. A lot of people are saying this tank is completely overpowered and broke. I personally think they're going to be doing some nerfs as this tank comes out, and as some nerfs come out, I'll be coming out either with different videos. I want to do more tips and tricks videos just to help you guys. So just going right into the Sheridan. So when you come into getting this tank, you're just going to be coming off of the T92 E1. And who knows, if you don't have this thing fully trained, you don't have all the equipment, this is it with all the equipment, the upgrades, 100% everything. So this is kind of the feel on what you'll be able to expect when you have it fully upgraded. I won't be talking so much about the grind, what to pay attention for, what to look out for when you don't have it fully upgraded. But just like any light tank, when you are a light tank, the purpose of your tank is to be able to get eyes on the enemy. So just as you kind of saw there right at the beginning, I'm trying to put myself in a position that I can help give my team eyes on where the enemies are. That is very, very key. This thing is not a TD. I've seen people play with these, and I still continue to see people play with these like a TD. Get into the action. You want to go to areas that you could put yourself in a safe position to be able to get eyes, start detecting enemies, and then pay attention to where your team is. Pay attention to the map. Pay attention to where the enemies are. You want to look for those weak points in the map, areas where you can help your teammates out, areas where you could get along the side of enemies where you can start being able to get shots off them and just be a nuisance. So this is one of the things that a lot of people hate about these missiles, is the fact of being able to curve those shots up and around and over hills. I had already come out with a video about this, and as of it stands right now, you're able to do this. I don't know if Wargaming is going to get rid of it, but in the settings, you want to turn on your lookout area. That way you'll have, if you're playing on a iPhone or a tablet, you'll see this grayish horizontal bar kind of in your bottom right. It's kind of faded, so a little bit difficult to see. To make sure to turn that on, because in that way you can adjust your turret, point up your cannon the right way. It kind of locks your turret and cannon in place of it, and you can fire your cannon and keep that in the right position so you can get that trajectory so that you can try aiming on that enemy. So using that lookout area is very, very crucial when playing with the ATGMs, both the T92 E1 and the Sheridan. So this tank is very, very fast. A lot of its strength, so very, very fast. As of right now, it has spaced armor, which does still fool a lot of enemies. You still, and I even noticed this, getting hit with HE rounds that just don't necessarily pen. This thing is covered in spaced armor, so that is very helpful. Pretty accurate, but as you saw there, it kind of sucks. I mean, you do kind of run into that. So using your maneuverability, you want to, once again, pay attention to your map. You want to move around the map. You want to be able to go in positions where, like, you'll notice just about the whole time I wasn't the center of attention. You know, bad guys weren't, I wasn't the center of attention in like what enemies were trying to have their sights on the whole time and trying to get me. This thing has no armor, so anytime that enemies are going to be taking shots at you, you're gonna, you most likely you're gonna be taking the full brunt of it, and you're gonna get penned. So at the beginning, once again, trying to get myself to a position where I can spot. I try to help my team by either saying left or right. I mean, if you really know like where to go and how to utilize the maps and what the dynamic of your team is, their strengths and weaknesses, you can give those recommendations. That takes some time to get used to. You'll notice at the beginning of these I might say, hey, left or hill, or maybe just to, you know, not so sound as demanding, I might say left question mark or what. But this is one of the things about these missile tanks that causes a lot of frustration in the game, is things like this. And honestly, this is not really expounding on a whole lot of skill involved with needing to play these. I can basically hide myself, launch these missiles up where I'm in a protected area, and just nail the enemies. I'm just slowly moving up and trying to detect some of the enemies so that I can try to get my missiles in a place where I can shoot them. And that yeah, I mean, you can really, with these ATGMs, put yourselves in positions where you're not exposing your tank, and you can fire and then curve those shots around to hit those enemies. So I'm trying to go in, I'm going in as a support tank. I'm not trying to rely on my armor. You'll notice as I'm playing, I'm not trying to put myself in positions where enemies are having their cannons pointed at me and they're firing at me. So I'm trying to help my teammates here as much as I can. We're really getting closed up on, just getting a little intense. Didn't really have time to switch to my missiles. The thing about the missiles, they have an incredible amount of penetration right now. However, their shell velocity is pretty slow. Right here, this is key to know this. You have to know when to run away. If I would have stayed there, I would have got absolutely obliterated. When playing in the Sheridan, if you're ever in a situation, or just in any light tank in general, you're surrounded, you're getting outnumbered, your team's just falling apart, you have to get yourself out of there and into other safety zones, either with other teammates. Just, you can either reset that by going with other teammates. And even just like right here, I backed up, put myself in a position where I could spot the enemies again. I didn't want to expose myself. In a normal light tank, I would not have really been able to get that shot off, but I wanted to keep eyes and kind of see what they were doing, because if they would have just turned their back or would have been exposing weak armor, I could have still popped out and got shots out and been able to do some more damage. So I'm trying to use this hill line because I know most of my team is out down here. Now I just about got wasted here, but I know my team is kind of out along this open area down here on this side of the hill. That's the other thing about a light tank, is knowing where your team is so that you can lure the bad guys out, and your teammates or your tank destroyers or whatever it is can then get shots on the enemies. Your team can be an extremely valuable resource when playing with a light tank. Even though you're very fluid, you're very dynamic, you like utilizing this is how you want to utilize your team. You want to lure them into those danger zones. So I went back, tried to help my 183. I'm trying to pay attention to the map. I'm going in now because he's just a quick one kill. And then this grill, I'm using my third person view here to try and see where he's looking, so I'm not completely pulling out and getting shot at. So use your third person view. Use your team. Pay attention to the map. Get in areas to spot. Keep the enemies spotted. This is one trick just with the ATGMs. Just final note here, you can do this on some maps. Here's just a quick example. I don't think I quite get the shot here, but you can lock your sights quickly, come up over, spot, shoot your missile, and control that missile, trying to get that advantage right at the beginning. I don't quite get a hit there, but you get the gist of it. So Anyway, hopefully some tips and tricks with the Sheridan. I hope you guys love it. I, I think actually now that I think of it, I may be pronouncing that wrong, so forgive me. But anyway, Stud Muffin 1986 here. I'm going to be doing more tips and tricks videos like this with individual tanks and people that I have a whole slew and list of tanks that people want me to do videos on. So hold on, guys. Hang tight with me. This is Stud Muffin 1986. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.